We are gathered here today to sip some tea, honey, so make sure you guys have your teacups ready because this tea is what? Piping hot. Hey you guys, it's your girl T and I hope everybody's doing good today. Make sure you guys have your teacups ready.
Get ready. Y'all get ready.
Yes, you get ready.
Because this tea is what? Piping hot. I hope everybody's doing good today. So I want to come out here and talk about everything that is going on right now in Texas. It is really crazy. The situation is getting very, very dire down there. I just got done talking to Phil of the Vice show, and he's in Houston, and he's saying like a lot of his neighbors are dealing with flooding. One of his friends have literally lost a lot of things in their home because the water came in, but Philip's home is just fine. Him and his family is just fine. I believe it was his mother-in-law's car got caught up in the flooding. But other than that, they're doing okay. Right now on Twitter, everything from Hurricane Harvey to Katrina to text Harvey 90999, Houston. So many things are trending. I just got done talking to several of my Texas tea sippers. I called y'all to make sure y'all was okay. Shout out to Morgan. She was explaining what was going on in Beaumont. She's like about, I think she said about an hour or so from Houston. And they're experiencing a lot of rain and flooding. Here goes some things that she had to say when I spoke to her earlier on the phone. Check this out. So right now I have one of my tea sippers, Morgan, and she's in Houston. So she's going to try and explain to y'all what she's seeing at her home. So if you want to go ahead and just let everybody know what's going on.
Hey, everyone. Now, Timmy, I'm not in Houston anymore. I'm in my hometown, Beaumont, Texas, which is an hour away from Houston. But right now, the Golden Triangle is cool, but there is some flooding on the East 6 Freeway, like if you were going to Lake Charles on 11th Street. But everything is fine. My house is fine. We have power.
Good.
Right now, the rain stops. The sun is trying to poke out, but basically my front lawn is green. So far, everything is fine.
Well, now what's going on with the freeways and stuff out there?
Well, from what I've seen on TV, the freeways in Beaumont are fine, but they are strongly advising for us not to go anywhere. They shut down the schools, but I haven't heard anything from my job yet, and I work in a corporate office, so I still have to go to work on Monday.
Okay. Yeah, I seen the freeway signs were literally almost underwater in Houston. It's real bad out there.
It's extremely bad. I'm still waiting to hear from my cousins. They live in Spring. I haven't heard anything from them yet, but my aunt Neil and my Uncle Mark is here in Dallas.
All right, so you guys just heard a small snippet of what Morgan had to say. So the news is saying that Houston is facing a catastrophic flooding, and a lot of this is from the residual effects from Hurricane Harvey. As we all know, Hurricane Harvey made landfall on Friday in Rockport, I believe, and now the effects is that the whole Houston area is currently flooding. And I see a lot of people on social media asking why, why is this happening? It makes no sense. Houston is further inland. Why are there so many floods and storms? And I know a lot of you guys are used to me talking about hip hop and celebrity news and celebrity gossip. But what a lot of people don't know is that I'm very into the environment. I've done a lot of research on just like nature and wildlife. That's just some of the things that I enjoy. For those who know me outside of YouTube, that's why on my birthday I chose to go to the Everglades because, I've been researching the Everglades forever. And I know that the Everglades may not be here in the next 20, 30 years. And that's what a lot of people are not realizing. The reason why a lot of these storms are happening, because as you guys know, I lived in the Carolinas. I lived in a lot of different cities and I've experienced everything from hurricanes to tornadoes in the Midwest to earthquakes in LA. So I've kind of experienced every damn weather phenomenon known to damn man, okay? But the reason why a lot of this stuff is happening is because we are ruining Mother Nature, okay? The human population is ruining Mother Nature. People were not meant to have their homes right there on the coastland. And as much as I love the coast, you guys know I love going to Myrtle Beach. I love South Beach. As much as I love the coast and how beautiful it is, it also comes with a lot of negative effects when you build on the coast. 100 years ago, there weren't a lot of homes and businesses along the coast. And there was like a natural protection. So, 100 years ago, yes, we had hurricanes. Yes, we had storms. But a lot of them didn't really come inland because because you had things like the Everglades. You had things like the wetlands in New Orleans and in Louisiana. You had things like the, the swamplands and stuff like that. You had a natural barrier to kind of protect, these areas. But because we're now building closer and closer to the water, we've affected the entire ecosystem. Here goes a picture of the Florida Everglades back in the 1900s. And this is a picture of the Florida Everglades in the 2000s. And it's now 2017. It's even less than that now. I had a really dope conversation with one of the guys who works in the Everglades. He's been involved with everything concerning the alligators and the Everglades for the past 20 years. And even now, because there's a lot less water in the Everglades, the alligators are shrinking. They're significantly a lot smaller now than they were over 100, 200 years ago. So it's a lot of things that we're doing to Mother Nature that's affecting us. And this is why now you're having flooding in major cities like Houston. One thing I also want to point out is when I was down in Miami, my birthday weekend, it rained a lot off and on. And I would notice that when it rained, it's like the water just was there. It really didn't flow anywhere. And I'm like, this city looks very, very prone to flooding. And that Monday when we left, a few people in Florida were sending us videos and pictures and stuff like that on how the streets of Miami were flooded. Like literally the day that we left, people were walking around with water to their knees. And a lot of people don't realize that the sea level is rising all over the world, not just in America, but all over the world. And hundreds of cities in the near future, especially those along the shore, will be facing tons of flooding in the near future. Now, granted, this whole Harvey situation is not something that's normal. It doesn't happen all the time. But because the sea level is rising, you're going to see more and more flooding. It's going to be a lot of cities affected, everywhere from New York to New Jersey to Texas to Louisiana, Florida. A lot of cities will be definitely affected, and Miami is definitely one of them. Global warming is no joke. It's not a conspiracy, and we need to start taking it seriously. Recently, the state of Florida decided to pump like $70 million into trying to restore the Everglades. But the problem with that is sometimes when you destroy something, it's hard to rebuild. It's hard to get it back on track. And especially when you're talking about Mother Nature. This is not a man-made thing. This is something that Mother Nature created. And sometimes when you destroy Mother Nature, it's very hard to get that back to what it once was. So this is why a lot of these cities are being affected, because it's so much global warming going on and it's affecting their environment. It's infecting a lot of things. What you guys don't realize is that in this world, and I don't want to sound like a damn Disney cartoon, but there's a such thing as the circle of life. And in this world, what happens to one affects us all. And I've lived on damn near every coast of this country, okay? It doesn't matter if it's somebody in Texas experiencing flooding, or if it's somebody in Kansas in the Midwest getting hit with a tornado, or somebody in Cali, being affected by earthquakes, or Hurricane Sandy hitting the East Coast. At the end of the day, it affects us all. Because one thing about Texas is that a lot of our oil refineries are down there. And once those oil refineries are affected, it definitely affects the rest of the United States. The same thing happened during Katrina. I remember those long lines, and living in South Carolina, where most of the people in South Carolina live below the poverty line. And when those gas prices went from being like $1.60 something to damn near $4, that hurt so many people in the Carolinas. I mean, there were lines for days, and a lot of folks were just stuck in the house. You really couldn't go anywhere because you couldn't even afford gas in your vehicle. So people need to realize that this storm is going to affect a lot of people also outside of Houston. And then you hear people saying, well, these people should have evacuated. Why didn't they leave? Once again, not everybody has the means to just get up and go. And the problem is also communication, because the governor in Texas was saying that he wanted a mandatory evacuation of Houston, but the mayor of Houston was saying that it didn't need to be mandatory, that it needed to be voluntary. So once again, you have miscommunication. Like they always say, if you have the means to get out and go towards safer ground, definitely do that. But some people just don't have the means to go. And that's the same thing that happened with Katrina. And we can argue all day long about if it was HARP, if it was man-made, if the government blew up the levees. That's, neither here nor there. At the end of the day, there were poor people who could not leave that city, point blank, period. And that's the same thing that's going on here in Houston. I'm literally watching the news and there's people wading in water that is chest deep and they're trying to get to higher grounds. And this is a major city in the United States. So if Houston can end up flooding from this storm, trust and believe a lot of these other cities will definitely be facing this in the near future. So I just want to come on here and just let folks know that Texas, you guys are in my prayer. Everybody stay safe. Like I said, at the end of the day, I can just imagine how devastating it is to, you know, be in your home and there's water everywhere and your stuff and everything that you worked so hard for. I mean, it's just horrible. I'm looking at these pictures and I'm watching the television. I just, you know, my heart breaks. Like, I feel like I'm having an anxiety attack. I feel like it's like, you know, Katrina all over again, you know, and just know that at the end of the day, material possessions can be replaced, you know what I'm saying? But your life, you only have one life. And as long as you're okay and your family members are okay, that's all that should matter. Everything else will eventually, you know, be fixed and resolved and everything. But right now, it's just a matter of staying safe, trying to get to higher ground and seeking help wherever you need it. But right now, there's over 100+ water rescues going on. So I just hope that everybody is okay. Stay dry, stay safe. Just realize that we have to start respecting their environment. We have to start respecting the ecosystem. The more and more that we go against Mother Nature and we start building where we shouldn't be building, these are the effects. And it's really scary to think that in 20, 30 years, you know, the swamplands may be gone, the Everglades may be gone. You know what I'm saying? Certain cities may not even be here 20, 30 years from now because things are literally sinking as the floodwaters are rising. So I'm not trying to come with this doom and gloom thing, but this is just stuff I research and this is just stuff that I know about. So I want to just kind of educate you guys on why this is happening, because I'm seeing some people questioning it. They're just thinking it's just a hurricane and that's it. It's bigger than it just being a hurricane. It's bigger than it just being Hurricane Harvey, because think about it. The hurricane did not hit Houston. Okay. The eye of the hurricane hit almost 2 hours away from Houston. This is all these residual effects from the water and everything else. So anyways, y'all, I don't want to make this video too long. Let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. So let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that like button and make sure you click that bell so you can be down with the notification squad, honey. And last but not least, please realize that YouTube no longer supports this channel. You know what I'm saying? So to continue to support me and everything I do here on this channel, please make sure to join my Patreon or my PayPal. You guys can donate as little as $1 a month if you guys want me to keep cranking out these videos. I need support from viewers like you all. I enjoy making content. I enjoy speaking my truth as I see it, and I'm not going to allow YouTube or anybody to stop me from making videos. So please continue to support this channel. All of those links will be down below. So let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Go ahead and leave a comment. All right. Deuces. Hey you guys, it's your girl T. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share my videos. You can also visit Lovelyti.com to purchase any merchandise. Also, don't forget to click the boxes down below to watch any of my previous videos. Talk to y'all later. Deuces.